Big news this week, of course, was the jobs report, which was a surprise. We had produced 146,000 new jobs, and most experts were calling for under 100 because of Hurricane Sandy. But apparently Hurricane Sandy really didn't affect the jobs report very much, and the unemployment rate dropped to 7.7%. Don't get too excited about that. Almost the entire drop, the entire reduction of unemployment was because of people leaving the labor force. And you have to remember how the government counts it. The government does not count unemployed people. That's not how it works. If you want a really true gauge of how poor the environment is in the job creation area, you look at the percentage of people working, of the working age. In other words, when someone stops looking for a job, stops collecting unemployment benefits, the government doesn't count them as unemployed when they are unemployed. And so it's not nearly as good as you think it might be at 7.7% because it dropped. Well, not really. It didn't drop. Government, how the same way the government counts inflation. It doesn't count inflation like you and I do. You go to the store and things cost more. The government doesn't count that way, but still, you have to take the numbers for what they are. Actually, the economic numbers this week have been pretty decent. ISM, Institute of Supply Management, for manufacturing was down 49.5. Anything below 50 is shrinkage. We expected it to be 51.7, and last month it was 51.7. So that was a disappointment. But the ISM non-manufacturing sector came in at 54.7, expected to be 54.2, and it was 54.2, and is expected to come in at 53, a reduction. Didn't happen. It increased. So factory orders are up 0.8%. They expected to shrink a tiny fraction. Didn't. Unemployment claims fell 20,000, which was good. It's still higher than normal. It's not at that pace where before Hurricane Sandy, but it's at least going in the right direction. Productivity sharply was revised higher in third quarter, much higher, from like 1.9% to 2.9%. Now, that's important because productivity tells us how efficient our factories and companies are. And the more efficient they are, the lot more profitable they are, the more competitive they are worldwide. The drawback is the more efficient they become, the less employees they need. That's the drawback. But still, you want them to become more efficient. If you came to if you saw the online seminar last night, you would have noted that we are, as a country, are 4 times more efficient than China is. 4 times more efficient. They had to hire 4 times more employees to do the same thing we do. So that's what was important. The market, remember the fiscal cliff is hanging over everybody's head. Everybody's worrying about it. Everybody thinks that the world's falling apart because where fiscal cliff is going to happen. There is no fiscal cliff. It's a fiscal slide. It's a fiscal change in tax rates. You're still going to go back to work on January 2nd. You're still going to make money. Everything remains the same, but over the next year, you're going to pay more taxes if they do nothing, and they're going to cut spending by 10% across the board. There's a part of me think that cutting spending might be a good idea because they certainly can't agree to anything, but they need to cut spending. But it will affect our economy and could slide us easily back into recession. But I don't think the fiscal cliff is going to happen. I think they're going to come up with something. It may be a last minute, and maybe it could happen in January. I don't know. But something's going to happen. The stock market thinks something's going to happen because it's been acting pretty well in the light of the fiscal cliff coming in 25 days or so. So I think you need to stay with the market because once they do come to an agreement, the market's probably going to rally.
If you're an iPhone user, there is now an easy way to get InvestTalk delivered right to your iPhone or iPad without having to sync the device to your computer. This feature can allow you to listen to InvestTalk right away, as soon as it's published every weeknight. Here are the easy steps to get this done. First, make sure you have installed the latest iPhone update. You then can download the podcast app from the App Store. You can do this as you would add any app on your iPhone or iPad. Once you have the new podcast app installed on your device, if you're not currently subscribed to InvestTalk, just search for it in the search box. And remember, there are 2 T's in InvestTalk. Make sure your subscription is turned on and the auto download is also turned on. Your episodes will now be delivered automatically as soon as they're published. Let us know how you enjoyed the InvestTalk podcast, and do us a favor. Leave us some feedback on the podcast in the iTunes Store. We love hearing from you, and thanks for listening.